How you doing today? This is the 12 of 12 podcast, the podcast about real life, recovery, growth and development, redemption, because that's what this is about. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, tap that subscribe button one time for us, thumbs up, like, and share it. Don't forget to share it because sharing is caring. And we are sponsored by First Step Recovery. If you or a loved one happens to need help with substance abuse disorder or severe mental illness, do not wait, do not hesitate, don't wait till tomorrow, do it today. Contact First Step Recovery. They will be happy to help you today. Might be your last chance, you never know. We got a special guest today, Dave.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Man, glad you was able to come on the show, man.
I'm glad. I'm happy to be here.
Sure, man. It takes a lot of courage to come up on here to tell your story, to give us what you've been through, your testimony, just like it is with you. You know, everybody out there, they have to realize, you know, it takes courage to go out there and tell things you've been through. And it's a good thing, man. I think it's part of a healing process, man, a process for you to get better. Recovery comes with certain processes, certain steps. And that's with anything in life, I believe, man.
Yeah.
You know, where you from?
I was born and raised here in Louisville. Yeah.
You ever play sports?
Besides bowling, no.
What? Oh, you used to bowl?
Yeah.
What?
In high school, in middle school, and in high school, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Dang, man, was you ever part of a team?
I bowled on a league, actually, my 9th grade year of high school.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I averaged...
Oh, so you were fire, huh?
Yeah, I averaged a 220.
What?
Yeah.
So when you were going through the bowling process, did you ever think about you were going to be like a professional bowler?
No, it was more of a thing to just take up time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But so it was just something that was funny, you just good at it?
Yeah. It was both. Yeah.
Okay. How were your friends back then?
To be honest, I was a bit of a loner for a lot of my life. The few friends I had, especially when I got into high school, man, I started hanging around the wrong crowd. I had a few good friends that tried to pull me out of it, but back then I was stubborn. I was real bullheaded, didn't want to listen to anybody, really truthfully didn't know what happiness was at that point in my life.
What do you think was making you unhappy at that time, being so young?
A lot of it had to stem from my childhood. You know, my grandparents, my biological father's parents were the ones that raised me. And I can remember from an early age, my father was around once a year. He chose his career path over raising, his 2 kids. And when he was around once a year, it was always about what I was doing wrong, never about what I did right. And it was, I grew up even into my teenage years. I hated everybody. I hated people. I saw people smiling, or I saw people in relationships and holding hands, and it angered me because I didn't know what it was to feel that way. Yeah.
So it kind of came from your dad not showing you that love. So because he wasn't showing you that love, you didn't understand it. So you just hated you hated the love that the other people had.
Yeah.
And you were wishing that you had that type of love.
Yeah, it was more of I think now thinking about it, it was more of an envious type of feeling. I was, and to the point where it was dangerous for me. That's really what I believe a lot of it had to do with the start of my addiction.
So when you say dangerous, what do you mean dangerous?
I was the type of person back then that didn't think before I spoke, really didn't care if my words hurt people. I was selfish, per se, when it came to taking into consideration the feelings of other people.
So you just say things kind of like ration out?
Yeah.
Tell me, when did you start using? What was your drug of choice?
My drug of choice was meth.
Meth. So you just started off, jumped off the port, bam, I'm about to hit some meth.
Yeah, well, no, it didn't start until I was about 20, I want to say 23. It was 2016 when first it started out with cocaine. And when I realized how big of a problem that had become, I actually sat down with my grandparents and told them, this has become a problem, and I was able to quit it cold turkey. But then methamphetamine was introduced to me. And man, from then on, from 2016 to 2024, it held more importance over my jobs, over paying my bills. When I say my addiction career, the reason why I use that term is because it took importance over everything else. My relationships, during holidays, birthdays, I was there, but my mind wasn't focused on being present in the moment. My mind was more focused on, I need to run to the bathroom to get my next fix so I can feel like I'm a part of.
How did that affect your health overall? As in, when you were using the drugs, did you feel worse? Did it make you feel better?
It made me feel better. While I was using meth, man, I'll tell you, I ran from everything of conflict, especially when it came to the trauma from my past with my father. It was the very thought of those things that made me feel depressed all the time. You know, a lot of I used to really dig deep into social media, and it was kind of the comparison trap. You know, seeing where other people were versus people I went to school with versus where I was at in my life. And it was just, I had to come to a point to where now that I'm in recovery and I've worked the 12 steps, I was living a life that was directly resulted from my own actions. Mm-hmm. You know, that step 9 amends. When it comes to my father, he didn't know how to be a father. It was more, he gave up that life to chase his own. But I can tell you, after having worked the steps and did that step 9, man, I have all the relationships that I damaged in my addiction, they're mended today.
And what's step 9 of the 12 steps?
Step 9 is made a direct amends to all persons we have harmed, unless when to do so would harm them or others. Yeah.
Listen, it's the key thing you just said right now. You got to make amends. I feel like so many people, they don't make amends for what they're doing. They're dealing with the hurt, the pain, the trauma. That's another reason why I like First Step, because they deal with the mental aspect. When it comes to addiction and drug use, it's always a mental aspect involved in it, you know? It's not just, you just pop up and just, I'm going to be drugged and do drugs, hooked on it, and just be okay with it, because it does affect your health, And that's why I brought that up earlier, because, you're damaging organs in your body when you're drinking, you're messing with your liver, when you're smoking and stuff, you're messing with your lungs, your brain, your mental capacity. You're just, overall, your health isn't good, but you still continue to do it.
Yeah.
So, bang, if you're going to continue to do it, where is it coming from? You realize the difference from how you are, at least from what I see. It's different if I was to drink alcohol. Like, I feel good now. I exercise, I try to eat healthy, and I do what I need to do to want to live a longer, prolonged life and be healthy as possible. When you're out there doing these things and you're not worried more about your health, it seems to be like you fall off, because next thing you know, I gain weight. I drink alcohol, I like to gain weight. I don't focus on what I'm eating anymore. I eat anything that I'm hungry because, I might be drunk. I realize it does affect your health, and the next thing you know, blood pressure issues, cholesterol issues, things like that. If I don't drink, I don't get high, whatever. Next thing you know, I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. I'm moving better. My wind is better. Mm-hmm. Best thing I could ever did. One of them definitely is stop smoking cigarettes. I used to smoke cigarettes.
Did you?
Can't tell, man. It's been a lot of years, but I smoked cigarettes before. And that was a horrible addiction right there.
Yeah.
I think cigarettes and nicotine is one of the hardest things for a person to quit.
As a matter of fact, I'm a smoker myself. And I've said this out loud that, if I could quit my meth addiction, surely I can quit cigarettes. It's all about the mind state, man. For the people out there who may not be in recovery, who are thinking about starting recovery, if there's one thing that I can tell you from my experience is all the years that I ran away from my problems and I used meth to keep my mind so preoccupied that I didn't have time to think about all of the things that haunted me from my past. when you start recovery, you'll hear people say, you'll get your feelings back. And to be honest, at the time when I got my feelings back, it was about 4 months into my recovery. And it was the first time I ever had a using dream. But I pushed through it. I didn't cave into that craving. I didn't run back out there because I knew at that point, the drugs always made me spiral. I didn't know that my rock bottom had a basement until I was finally coming out of it. And it was the same situation every time. Losing a house, losing a job. And it was continuous. It was over and over and over. So the most important part about getting your feelings back is being able to see it from a perspective of, we need to identify why we feel the way we feel. And with that comes a broader perspective that you can view it from. I know for me, my sponsor said something to me Thursday, actually, and it's something that that has stuck with me since Thursday. He said, every roadblock that came into my life was actually God's way of steering me in the path that he wanted me to go. And I can tell you, for anybody who is skeptical about recovery, I know I was skeptical about it at first, but I can tell you, having had a sponsor who took me through the 12 steps of AA, man, I've never looked back. I'm going on 15 months sober, and I can't envision myself going back to my addiction, to a place where I was miserable. I hated the person that I saw in the mirror, and this stuff works. You'll also hear people say it works if you work it. And that is one of the truest statements that I have ever heard. To this point, if you take it seriously, in recovery, the focus should be on finding out more about yourself. I know people like me, when I first started recovery, man, all I wanted to do was go out and find a job. And with each interview that I had, doors kept getting closed.
How did it make you feel when they were closing? Did it make you feel like going back and just saying, you know what, I'm gonna give up? Because a lot of people, man, they get triggered by a lot of different things. And this is another thing, like when people talk about the triggers, a lot of people use triggers a lot of times just for excuses.
Yeah.
Because everything could be a trigger, Hey, man, it's a beautiful day today, man. I'm triggered to go get high.
Yeah.
I'm triggered to go get drunk. Just because the sun is out shining, I'm all of a sudden triggered because the day's just so great. You got an urge.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You got an urge. Now, I understand if you're around certain things, certain places and things like that, but people have to stop using everything as a trigger. You know what I'm saying? Because life, you got to be able to live life, get outside the circumstances that you're in, and not look back like you did a good thing. You move forward, you don't look back, and you have to put it in your mindset that you know what, I'm tired of the life I was living.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being, you said something about you being at your rock bottom, and your rock bottom had a basement. So you're at the lowest, but then your lowest had another low. You don't want to be in that dark place, people, because it gets dark. It gets real dark when you're out there and you're caught up in addiction. It gets real dark when you're out there going through these things. So definitely, man, you have to put in your mindset that you're done. I believe the biggest thing is that you have to actually be tired to the point that, you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired of what I'm going through, what I need to do. And recovery, it's not just when it comes, people like to say it's just drugs, it's many different addictions. And recovery is also with your mental.
Yeah.
You understand? Because the mental part is what has you really ultimately going and continuing to use and destroy yourself.
Yeah.
the mental, what you're going through, the internal battle that you had, that you're battling yourself, that's what you're fighting. And when you're doing that, you need to recover from that trauma, that turmoil that's caused you to be like, you know what, forget it. I have to use this drug because I really can't stand reality.
Yeah.
You know?
And that comes, with recovery comes that total psychic change. And you've got to break yourself of your old ways. For me, out of all the times I smashed my face into that metaphorical brick wall, doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting it to be different, and it didn't. I remember when I made the decision to go into recovery. I was sitting at a bus stop at Broadway and 6th Street, and didn't know where I was going to go. I was homeless at the time. Didn't know where I was going to go. Didn't know what I was going to do to get my next meal. And it just so happened there was somebody that approached me that recognized me, and I didn't know who she was. And it's crazy because my sponsor and he's got a year more sober than I do, but for whatever reason, his name popped into my head sitting there at that bus stop, and I asked her if she knew Brad Jansing, and sure as hell, man, I don't remember ever meeting her, but she remembered me, and she proceeded to tell me that, oh yeah, both Brad and Lorena have been sober for a year. And from there, they called their program and got me there. I mean, it was, thank goodness, because, if I hadn't figured out where I was going to go, I knew where I was headed.
Yeah. To
the same place where I got my drug of choice. And it's like I said, nothing in this life happens by coincidence. And the longer I'm sober, the more that really just rings in my ears. The way everything panned out. So my sponsor and I, we were best friends at one point. Then we hated each other, couldn't stand each other. And then
this is why you were going through recovery. You were best friends and hated each other.
No, so this is well before recovery.
Oh, so you knew your sponsor before? Okay.
Yeah, so we knew each other. We probably known each other since 2020. When we met each other for the first time, I was a manager at Jimmy John's. Mm-hmm. And I had a driver not show up that day, and he came in to fill in at the driver's position. And I was coming down off of, I had just run out, I think, the night previous. So I was dragging ass inside the store, and he spotted it from a mile away. And to go from being that person who was so unpredictable to seeing him be the person he is today. He's the same person day in and day out. And he knows the big book like the back of his hand, man. I mean, I never would have pictured, out of all the people that I have come across in my life, that it would have been him to sponsor and carry me through the 12 steps.
See, you never realize who God's gonna choose to be that light,
Yeah.
to lead you out of that darkness. I pray the Lord every day, thank God every day that He allows us to, doesn't just allow us to self-destruct. Some people do, a lot of people do, but I can't speak for everybody else. I know for me, my destructive lifestyle, God allowed me to be here today by the grace. And a lot of people, even if they haven't been destructive, you're just here today still walking this earth by the grace of God.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have been in a situation where they could have already been gone, dead, and they're still here. You're still here.
Yeah.
So now on your path, what do you got going on now for the plans for the future? You've been doing good.
Yeah.
You've been working on your health. Your health's getting better.
Yeah.
Than before, man. I see you got on a nice little Atkins diet plan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trying to get your fit on.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing about it, man. See, when you get sober, man, you start worrying about these things that you weren't worried about before.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that I live a long time. Because you got a plan, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what are some of your plans for the future?
So I believe I know what my higher power, what God has set before me, the number of times that I have gotten jobs, and again, I'm going to say this because it relates to the way things have happened. Every time I have gotten a job outside of recovery, things fall apart. I've either lost the job or and I really just think that that's God's way of telling me this is where I'm meant to be. So as far as future plans, I'm getting ready to start my peer support classes. I'm looking into the CSA as well. And I've already talked to a few people here, some higher ups in the program. So my future goal is to graduate this program and work for them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's a blessing, bro. See, that's a great thing. One thing about it is, once you figure out your purpose, people, that's an important thing. Figuring out your purpose is what it's about, you know?
Yeah.
Because when you're not, I always tell people this, if you don't have a purpose to live, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
You don't even have you're just walking around this earth, and that's when people get caught up in a lot of vanity, things they don't even have no reason to be involved in, and then they end up self-destructing inside and out. You know,
Yeah.
you can put on a fake smile, whatever it is, but the truth is that you're not truly happy. And a lot of people just aren't happy because they don't even know the reason why they're here on earth. They don't even know why they were created or anything.
I used to be that person.
Yeah.
You know, for someone who was raised in a Christian church, in my addiction, I blamed everybody else but myself. I hated God. I hated God for what I thought was Him, for Him creating a life for me. I used to say it out loud all the time. I used to say to myself, if this is living life, then what a sick joke. But I can tell you, after having been through recovery, still going through recovery, it's not something that ever stops. You got to continue to work it the rest of your life. But I know what my purpose is today. And I can say for once in my life, I finally feel like I belong somewhere.
Yeah.
And for those that maybe suffer from loneliness or that feeling of not belonging anywhere, people that don't relate to you, I promise you that in recovery centers, especially this one, people can relate to you. You don't have to fear if people are going to judge you. That stigma that a lot of people in the world today have on addicts and alcoholics, there's none of that here. The staff, the peers, even right down to the clients. It is such a wonderful environment to be around. Being around like-minded people has made me realize that I have true friends today. And that's not something I've ever felt that I've had any other time in my life. So if I can give any advice, keep doing the next best thing, the next right thing, and good things will follow.
Amen. Thanks for coming on, brother.
No
Appreciate
problem.
that. And hey, like you said, man, you know, it's a great thing. First Step Recovery has a great program, has great people here, and I always tell people that, you know, not to say there's not other good programs out there, but I just know this program is a great program, and the people who work, the staff, the directors, the owner, they all love people a lot. You know, they understand the people.
Yeah.
We understand the struggles, and at the end of the day, that's what it's about, because we're all human beings. We just want you to figure out that purpose, to know your purpose and know your worth, because you're worth something as a human being. Society might look at you one way. Your people might look at you around you one way, but we're not going to look at you like that here. And if you are looking at a person down, then you need to stop, because you know why? We're all human beings. We're all born one day and we all die one day. So that's something that people need to look at it. We're all just trying to, as long as, if we could work together, love each other and be there for each other and see another person as a human being to help that other person up, things will be a lot better in this world.
For sure.
Yes. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Yeah.
I love you all, and remember, continue being lights in this dark world, and hey, if you don't have a friend and you feel like you're alone out there, you can even contact us. You got a great place here, man. You got people here who love you. You're not going through this alone. God bless you all. Have a blessed day.